Have you been struggling with a body weight or self-image problem? Do you have pain in your body? Are you living with frequent colds or the flu? Or even worse, a diagnosed incurable disease? How would you like to hear that none of these issues are real? How would you like to hear that all of these problems are illusions, figments of your imagination, created by incorrect information and limited beliefs? In fact, it's my life passion and purpose to inform you that you don't have to live a life in lack or limitation any longer. I am here to say the poverty mindset can become a thing of your past. You can step into your abundance. You don't have to be controlled by fear or anxiety. You can fix or heal your relationships. You can raise up your energy. You can learn to love yourself. You can step back into the very best version of you. You can heal your life. It's totally up to you. It's your choice. It's your decision. You are the power that can do this. You are the creator of your life. Each and every single one of us has this power. We all have access to the infinite divine root energy that is available to each and every one of us. We can command and direct this power out into our lives. We all need to get the truth. We all need new information. We all need to overcome the brainwashing. Every one of us needs to stop the incorrect thoughts. We all must rise above the wrong, limited beliefs that we have accepted and allowed to form our current reality. The truth is, you have the power. You can lose the weight and keep it off for the rest of your life. The truth is that there is no pain or disease that is permanent. There is no circumstance that you are stuck in. You can overcome any situation that you wish to in your life. You can do it now. You can begin today. You do not need any pills. You don't need any potions. You don't need to buy any powders or any medications. You have everything that you need to change your life. Welcome to my weekly YouTube broadcast show about weight loss, about healing, and about improving performance in any aspect of your life. I'm your host, John DePass, the Melon Man.
Family too.
Hey everybody, the Melon Man here today. I've just had a very short introduction talk with Kevin. Kevin's living in Ecuador right now. He is Raw Healing Mastery. We bumped into each other on YouTube, and I checked out his page and saw that he was a holistic health coach. And, I'm moving in that direction. I've been a lifetime personal trainer, moving in that direction of holistic health coach. And I saw that our ideas really meshed, and I reached out to him to connect. And in a 5-minute conversation with him, I realized that I'm just excited to talk to him and learn more. And I can't wait to actually come down and spend some time with him in Ecuador. What an exciting opportunity this is for me to learn and grow from Kevin today. Kevin is living in a permaculture farm down in Ecuador. I'm going to let him kind of explain what this is all about, what it all means. Kevin, can you please tell me where you come from and how you got to Ecuador and why you're in Ecuador, and how this all came about for you, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming. Like when I was in college, I was just engaging in all the sorts of collegey behaviors. I was partying, I was, doing drugs, I was drinking lots of alcohol, I was eating junk food, fast food, and I just had a lot of unhealthy relationships with people. And I just found myself just in a really rapid state of decline in my health. And I just realized that I don't need to be suffering. Like I'm young, like I should be in my prime. I should be enjoying life. I should be feeling good. I should be really healthy, but I wasn't. So I started questioning everything, like every aspect of my life. Like, how do I start feeling better? So I was just experimenting with different things.
How old are you, Kevin?
I'm 25 right now.
25.
Yeah, I'll be 26 in February.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Wow.
I started young. I'm new to the game, but yeah.
Oh, that is so amazing. I seriously commend you for jumping at an opportunity in your life so young, like so exciting. You've got your whole life in front of you. I'm so amazed, buddy. Fantastic.
Yeah, well, honestly, I feel like I wasn't really, like, I feel like this path chose me, and I feel like I didn't have a choice. It was almost like I was initiated into this way of living. And it was like, it felt like if I didn't take action, if I didn't make a lot of serious changes and like really reevaluate every area of my life, then it wasn't going to be good. It was going to get uglier. I might have died or something. I don't know. But
I feel very similar. Like the path chose me. Like I've been directed along this path. Like I have to take it.
Yes, it's something greater than just my ego, like my intellectual understanding and comprehend. It's something higher than myself, something.
I feel the same way. And I feel like there's no alternative. Like if I don't take this path, there's something very seriously wrong going to happen.
Oh yeah, the repercussions. For
Yes.
Words.
Yes.
It's hardcore. So you don't want to go back.
Like I'm being forced down this path. Not that I'm not enjoying it and loving it. Like I'm loving what I'm learning. I'm loving how I'm growing. I'm loving how I'm feeling. I'm just totally inspired and in awe of the entire trip. But there's no question, like, it's like I've got my hands off the wheel and someone else has got the wheel and it's going, you're going this way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's astonishing. It's just amazing. It's such an exciting process of discovery and unfolding and like just arriving at who you truly are, which is infinite, is eternal, and it's pure, unconditional love. And it's just revealing that. It's just constantly moving towards that more and more.
And you're 25 and you're speaking like this and you're aware of this. Like when I was 25, I had no clue, man. Like it's so amazing. So amazing. Yeah, anyhow, how did you find yourself here, Kevin? Like, tell me your story.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, I was just really suffering with my health in college, and I just started experimenting with different things, and I discovered, okay, if I eat a cheeseburger and drink a beer with my friends, I feel like crap. I feel like death. I feel like I need to sleep for 4 hours in the middle of the day. But if I eat just a container of blueberries and nothing else, I feel fine. Nothing's hurting. I don't feel like I need to sleep and take a long nap. I feel like I have energy. Like I feel somewhat normal again. So I just naturally started gravitating more towards that.
And that was something that you just found on your own, like without reading any books or without coming to any information or any knowledge. You just found it intuitively.
Pretty much, I was just following my body, but my intellect was going like, this is not normal. Like no one does this. No one just sits down and eats a whole container of blueberries. But then I went home to my parents' house. I was visiting them for the weekend. And my mom was watching a video by Dan McDonald, the life regenerator, and he was making his green juice on the camera with his setup in the kitchen. And he said something about living foods, like live raw foods, and that just light bulb moment in my mind, like, oh my goodness, I've been feeding myself death my whole life, and I need life. I need to put living foods into my body.
Right.
So I just took that and I ran with it, because I just knew on such a deep level that that's what I need to be doing. I need to be
Interesting.
into my body. And then I just started researching that hardcore and reading lots of books and just watching lots of documentaries and videos about live foods and
Yes.
the biophotons, the bioelectricity in the food, and
Electromagnetic force and energy within
absolutely
the fruits. Right.
just discovering that the commonly accepted idea of nutrition and nutrients,
Yes.
that applies on some level, but really there's this more important aspect of the electricity, the life force in the food, the bioelectric signature, and just the energy that it embodies, the earth energy, the cosmic energy. And really we are energy beings, so our energy, our nourishment comes from that energy, that bioelectricity.
Okay, a couple things I want to backtrack there. You said you read books and stuff. So can I cite a couple of sources?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So quantum, or what's it called? Quantum Eating by Tanya, I can't remember her last name.
Okay.
Quantum Eating.
Yes.
That's a good one. And also Arnold Ehret's books.
Awesome. Awesome. I love Arnold Ehret's books. That was my inspiration.
Yeah. And Hilton Hotima.
Ah, yes. I love Hilton Hotima. Awesome. Thank you.
All good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just resonated on such a deep level.
Yes, me too.
Absolutely.
Me too. I felt the same. Like, this is the answers that are just meant for me, and have changed and inspired me. Okay, so you touched on another thing there. I want to go over. You talked about nutrient needs. I was just preparing a little bit of information about this. I'm going to do a post about nutrition needs on this weekend. So can we tease that out a little bit? You know, everyone says we need protein and we need amino acids and we need calories and we need essential fatty acids, omega-3, 6, and 9, vitamins and minerals. We need to get these things in our nutrition. Can you comment there, Kevin?
Absolutely. I mean, I just want to talk about protein, and it seems like a lot of people who are into holistic health or just health in general, it seems like their idea of what constitutes a healthy person, in my mind, in my perspective, is somewhat limited. Like, they see a healthy person as just someone who, they have body mass, they have bulk, they're not like emaciated, and they have physical strength to carry on through their day, whatever they're doing, and they don't show any observable signs of disease. But like, my idea of a healthy person goes much deeper than that. And it seems like a lot of people in the health movement, they focus on building muscle. And I think there's a healthy way to do that and a not healthy way to do that. And most people are opting for the not healthy way to do that, which involves just drowning your body in tons of animal protein or synthetic protein powders, and just going to the gym 5, 6, 7 times a week and working your muscles to exhaustion. And this basically causes like a bunch of inflammation and fluid retention in the body.
Excellent, sir. Excellent.
Yeah, and like tons of calories, just tons. You're getting like all the carbs, fats, and proteins, the macronutrients. But like, I think the healthy way to build and regenerate tissues in the body has absolutely nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with bioelectricity and the amount of energy you have in your body and your capacity to actually move and, you know, work your muscles just with your own bioelectrical impulse, if that makes any sense.
Awesome.
I think if your mind is operating on a certain wavelength, like if just the layperson, like most people have a lot of negative emotions, they have a lot of traumas that they haven't worked through from their past, They have a lot of conflicting voices in their mind. And if these things are going on, if you have a lot of negative, chaotic thoughts and a lot of emotional baggage from your past, then I would say absolutely it's a good idea to try to get all of those essential nutrients. But if you're on a deeper path, if you're following a deeper calling of balancing, harmonizing all parts of your being, resolving all of your emotional traumas, calibrating your mind to where it's a single harmonious voice, and you're open to the divine, you're open to cosmic energy, you're open to earth energy and connecting with the elements, then no, you don't need so many nutrients like the essential fatty acids, the amino acids, all these minerals and vitamins and whatnot. Because at that point, your energy, your sustenance comes from something else. It comes from elsewhere. So.
All right. I love that. So I want to tease that out a bit more. So basically, from what I'm hearing from you, and I really am in agreement and on side with you on this, is it sounds like you're talking about pranic living, pranic nourishment, getting your energy from the source of the universe, from the chi energy or the prana energy, the energy that's in our oxygen, the energy of love, the divine energy, the source being energy, the electrical energy that's available, that's all around us. And if you're tapping into that energy, then you require less energy from food.
Yeah.
And if you're not tapped into that energy, then you require more of that calories, proteins, carbs, fats idea.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about replacing those like lower vibrating, denser levels of nourishment with the higher vibrating, less dense, more light levels of nourishment. And people run into problems where they hear about this chronic lifestyle and they just want to quit food altogether. And they do like a long fast, but they're not so focused. They're not making it a priority to practice nourishing themselves in these other ways. So they run into the deficiencies, they run into like some health problems. But it's all about, it's a process. Like it's a gradual replacement of these denser foods that we've basically been indoctrinated into consuming so much of, replacing it with, like you're saying, the pranic nourishment.
So that's a big one. When you're talking about people that are bumping into deficiencies, you're saying that they're bumping into deficiencies along this lifestyle switch, along this lifestyle path, when they're not supporting the switch to the pranic lifestyle by gathering more electrical energy from alternative sources. So if you want to make the shift to a fruit or a raw food lifestyle, and you're eating less foods, and you're getting more energy from alternative sources, like from around you, then you've got to gather energy from the sunlight. You've got to gather energy from making contact with the earth. You've got to gather energy from the moon. You've got to get out into the air. You've got to exercise frequently to generate that energy within you and draw that energy in from around you. And if you don't, then you will run into deficiencies and require supplementation.
Yeah, because just in our culture, as you're well aware, it's a very consumer-based culture, it's consumption-based culture. And people are just so focused on food, and people change their diets. They change to a raw food diet or a fruitarian diet or what have you, and they expect that to be the panacea. But there's so much more that goes into being healthy. That's just one spoke on the wheel. And if you're just focusing on food, but you're not doing the breath work, the sun gazing, the sun exposure, getting your bare feet on the bare earth, getting those negatively charged alkalizing ions from the earth, bathing in the rivers and the streams and the lakes, and connecting with source, meditating, praying, just connecting yourself to all these different forces, then yeah, if people are just focusing on food, then it doesn't turn out so good.
This is it. And they just focus on the sets and the reps and the nutrition, and then they wonder why they're running into problems, and then they say that it doesn't work, or they have to, they have to go back to the doctor, and the doctor tells them that, oh, well, you can't live on fruits and vegetables, and that's the problem. But the problem is that you've tried to live on fruits and vegetables, but you haven't incorporated so many other aspects and facets of yourself in order to make the jump to live on fruits and vegetables. And actually living on fruits and vegetables is learning how to live beyond fruits and vegetables, is what it really is. It's learning how to get more energy from outside of the fruits and vegetables. The fruits and vegetables are just a way to get the obstructions out of the body.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I was saying, it's all about replacing things gradually. It's like this process. It's like taking steps. It's not like an overnight thing where all of a sudden you're breatharian. It's a journey, and the journey is the destination, because the journey is just loaded with all this amazing information, experiences. But yeah, I was going to say something. It'll come back to me.
So, what we're talking about is natural healing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the medications don't heal the body.
No, not at all. And that's absolutely something that I was observing when I was working as a medical interpreter, because I would just see the people come in appointment after appointment, and basically my job was to translate what they were saying so that the head nurse could understand, and she could just prescribe them painkillers, steroids, or something. And I just saw very clearly these people are not getting better. This is not the solution. They're actually getting worse. And I don't feel okay, supporting this industry, this process of giving these people medications. Because at that time I was already into the raw foods. I was already into that whole lifestyle for quite some time, for a few months. And it was just this cognitive dissonance. Like, you need living foods, so why am I helping this person give you medications? It just didn't make sense. So.
Right. So that's why you made the jump to looking into a permaculture farm?
Yes, because I was getting into the raw foods, and I was really experiencing a lot of positive changes in my body. I was feeling loads better. Every week I was feeling better and better and better for a year, feeling better constantly on that, and just detoxing a lot from my body, observing a bunch of crap, a bunch of mucoid plaque and parasites coming out of my body. And I was totally
witnessing that. I see that happening, and that's such a verification that I know I'm on the right path.
Yeah. But then I just got wondering, because eating a raw foods diet, eating lots of organic fruits and vegetables in the US is very expensive. So I'm like, okay, how do I supply organic fruits and vegetables in their optimum state? Because even the organic produce in the United States, sprayed with organic pesticides and fertilizers and whatnot, which are not good for the body. So I was questioning myself, how do I get the highest quality food, and how do I create an abundance of that food in the best way? And so I started looking into that, just asking myself that question. And soon enough, I discovered, wow, permaculture, that's a thing where people are doing lots of organic gardening, planting trees, and cultivating their food in a way that actually resonates with nature and can actually contribute to nature, generating itself and healing ecosystems, and simultaneously providing food for themselves.
Amazing.
So I was like, okay, permaculture, I need to do permaculture. I need to practice permaculture. So I decided to start learning that more. So I enrolled in a PDC course, which is a permaculture design certificate course at Lost Valley in Oregon. And I lived there for a year and a half, where I got my PDC certificate, and I learned how to design permaculture systems on pieces of land and grow food, grow fruit, do organic gardening. So I got involved in that, and I was really gung-ho about that for a while. But just living in Oregon, I also discovered that the winter is too cold and humans belong in the tropics. Like that, I felt that resonating within me very powerfully, that the human organism belongs in the tropics. And the fact that we use fire and we use heating and cooling during the winter in northern climates, that just confirms it to me, because no other species of creature that lives in northern climates is reliant on fire or heat externally to warm themselves. But humans are doing that. We're seeking tropical temperatures even when we're living in northern climates. And I just wanted to be in a place where I could live comfortably outside 24/7, 365, and connect myself constantly with the forces of nature. And I couldn't feel like I could do that comfortably in a northern climate, in a cold climate. And also, just I started out eating lots of salads, lots of vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And I got to a place where I'm like, I just want more tropical fruits, more papayas and melons and mangoes and things like that. And those things grow in the tropics instead of, more in the northern climates like Oregon. So I was just going towards the source, going towards the sunlight and the warmth and connecting with nature and the tropical fruits, which are more cleansing, more astringent, more flushing. So yeah, that's basically how I got involved in permaculture, and also the reason that I moved to Ecuador was basically to be in a warmer climate.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay. So you talked about negative emotions.
Mm-hmm.
What does this have to do with the healing process, and how do we integrate this into our lives?
Yeah, it's a core component. And I think a big reason that people will maybe be vegan for a while or raw vegan for a while and then go back to eating animal products or processed foods or cooked foods or whatever is that emotional component. And the emotional body is so closely linked to the physical. They're inseparable. Emotions are really a physical occurrence, a physical phenomenon in the body. Emotions are basically breathing and moving and making sounds with your body. So it's a highly physical thing. But with food, with dense foods, we basically stifle that emotional body, and we interfere with that emotional body's natural tendency to release emotions. But the living foods, the raw foods, the fruits, and practices like the breath work and connecting with nature, these things greatly facilitate emotional release. And when an emotion is trapped in the body, trauma earlier in life, and it was too intense for us to process completely at that time, then that emotion is basically an energetic frequency. It's an energetic signature that will remain trapped in the body, in various organs or tissues, or the muscles, or the joints, or the brain, or wherever, or in the chakras and the different glands. And it'll interfere with the optimal functioning of those tissues and those organs in the body. So having trapped emotions literally causes physical symptoms of disease in the body. So it should be a huge priority to release these emotions, to go explore our past and explore these past traumas, develop the willingness to relive these traumas and resolve them once and for all, and release these dissonant energy patterns from our body so that they're not wreaking havoc.
So important. So important.
It is key. It is key.
Yes, yes. Because we've got like even physical pain in our bodies. Physical pain may be felt in the bodies. People think that it's an injury or it's tight muscles or strain, and it may be linked even to an injury. However, if it's chronic and it's not going away and it's staying for extended periods of time, or it's been there for years, there's likely an emotional connection to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's likely frozen, trapped energy there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
like
it has to be invited up and teased out and exposed. And we have to use our intellect and we have to use our heart in order to transmute that challenging emotional energy. But with a clear mind and a clear head, we can say, okay, I feel that pain. I see that upset. I can see that that's upsetting, but that's not me. And I can actually be me beyond that.
Yeah.
So it helps us to see the true reality of us is not the negative emotion. The true reality of us is not the negative circumstance or situation, that there's more to us than the negative thing. However, we can feel that negative thing and not be ruined by it.
Absolutely. And in fact, feeling our feelings is the solution. Because if we're not feeling a feeling, then that keeps us from releasing the emotion attached to that feeling. So we really need to develop the willingness to feel everything, to feel anything and everything that we can experience in this life. Because the only thing that causes damage, that causes problems, is resisting feeling, not being willing, saying, no, I don't want that experience that the universe is giving us to experience, is giving us these experiences, these feelings, these emotions, so that we can learn and bring that information back to source to be integrated and included in this life. And I really see our emotions, our feelings, as parts of us that have been fragmented, parts that have been sort of broken away, and they're chasing after us like little kids wanting to be hugged and loved, and they're wanting to be included again. They're wanting to be reintegrated with source, with our true self, with the singular self. But they've been fragmented through the traumas and our incapacity, our inability to process that. And they're like coming after us. Like these feelings are literally chasing us. And the more we run from them, the faster they run after us. And they follow us. And a lot of people, if they're facing an intense feeling, they see it as this big, monstrous demon, this monster. It's coming after them. It's wanting to destroy them. But it's not true. It's actually just your inner child. It's a part of your inner child. It's this little child that just wants to be loved, wants to be embraced, wants to be hugged. And again, like you were saying, we use the heart to exercise our compassion and our acceptance and our own unconditional love to embrace that child and reintegrate it with source. It's about returning these fragmented feelings to the divine, to the one true most high, where it belongs.
So when we've got that thing that's in front of us, that emotional trauma that's coming up, or this big, like, uncomfortable thing that's kind of elephant that's come into the room that we have to deal with, and we don't really want to talk about it, or we don't really want to deal with it, it's actually that we need to talk about it, and we need to deal with it, and we need to become comfortable with it, because once we do stand up to that conversation, then that conversation won't be a feared conversation anymore, and we'll be able to speak freely about it, and we won't need to be embarrassed about it or afraid of it or upset about it, because it's just a natural thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel upset. It's okay to feel sadness. It's okay to feel sorrow. It's okay to speak about it. It's okay to feel embarrassed. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to be ashamed of something. It's okay to speak about it. And that's why this happens, so that you can actually be put into that situation that you have to confront those feelings that you're avoiding.
Yeah, amen. Amen. It's all about, like, all the emotions, all the human emotions are okay. They're acceptable. It's totally fine and normal to experience the full spectrum of human emotions.
From physical pain to anger and frustration, to sadness, to joy, to bliss, to ecstasy, to love. All of these things are part of the human experience. The child that's within you, that's been suppressed. And in order for you to be fully human and fully energetic and fully alive and fully healthy and embrace the entire you and love all of you, you've got to be able to accept the frustrated part and the angry part and the sad part. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And it's only a problem if you resist. Like, the feelings are actually not unpleasant if you fully accept them and don't resist them anymore. Like something seems really awful, you don't want to experience it, but as soon as you embrace it and take it again as part of yourself and you love that feeling, it transmutes into something else. It transmutes into something that is nourishing for your body, something that is nourishing for your heart and for your mind. And just you look around in the world today, and let me put it this way. If people were doing their emotional work, then you wouldn't see animal agriculture. You wouldn't see like heavy industry ravaging ecosystems. You wouldn't see all these ecological problems that are happening, because people wouldn't be addicted to the things that are created by those processes, being created by those unsustainable things, basically, yeah. If people do their emotional work, they come to terms with their infinite self and the fact that really we don't need nearly as much as we've been led to believe to be happy, to be nourished, to be connected to the people we love. We don't need all this superfluous stuff. The big giant house, the big fancy car, the job that earns us $1 million a year. We don't need all that stuff. We need a healthy body. We need our needs are very few and very simple and not that hard to attain.
And when you do that, you find the true joy.
Yes, which is just joy. It's not joy because of something. It's joy just because that's what you are.
So cool, Kevin. So cool, man.
It is so cool.
So cool, man. So cool. So Kevin, talk to me about, I mean, you're such a young guy. I'm amazed by your maturity. Talk to me about responsibility.
Yeah, I think that ties in very closely with the emotional healing. Like being responsible, I would say that has to do with not blaming others, not putting the fault on others, because we're all one. So if you're putting blame on someone else, that's really going to come back to you. That's essentially the same thing as putting blame on yourself. So responsibility, I would say it's about acknowledging that whatever you're feeling, whatever you're experiencing, that is because of you. That is an experience that on some level you chose. So instead of complaining, like, oh, why did this person wrong me? Why did this person do this to me? It's about, okay, I allowed that. I am equally responsible. We're all responsible for everything that happened. And yeah, I'd say responsibility is about not being militant, choosing to be compassionate, choosing to have empathy and understanding for other people, for what they're going through. And like, suppose you have like an argument in a relationship. Like, instead of playing this ping pong game with the anger, it's like having an argument with someone is like a ping pong game. It's like you're deflecting, you're hitting their arguments back at them, you're defending yourself. But if you're really about connecting and being responsible, like you're saying, it's like it doesn't matter how many balls they hit on your side of the table, you just let that shit go. You let those balls fly, because you're not playing the game anymore. You're not keeping score. It's like you don't have the need to their arguments and defend yourself, because your true self, your highest self, your infinite self has no need to be defended, or has nothing to prove. It has no argument to put on the table. It has nothing to prove to others. So instead of being combative and competitive and in conflict with each other, it's about coming together. And that's where I think responsibility comes in handy, is connecting, coming to that state, that understanding that we're one, that your needs are the same as my needs, that there's actually nothing to be upset about. And it's okay for someone to have a different opinion than you, because you don't need to be so closely identified with that opinion. that your opinion being validated or invalidated makes or breaks you. It doesn't matter. You have your opinions, other people have their perspective. There are infinitely many different perspectives, and that's something to be celebrated. It's a very diverse, colorful world, and that's really cool. So it's not in our best interest to try to change other people's opinions to your opinions.
And
So,
I think in addition to that, you've got to talk about everybody taking responsibility for what's showing up for them.
mhm.
We all have to take responsibility for what we've created.
Yes, and if something is not vibing well, then you have the ability to change it. You don't need to wait for someone else or some other factor to change. Like, you can visualize what you want to happen. You can put that intention out there. You can remain optimistic and positive. Positive thoughts like, I can do this. Everything's going to be all right. Like, these bad things that are happening, they won't last, because everything's in constant flux. Everything's in constant change. And it's going to be okay.
So affirming positively, thinking and speaking about what you want to create, visualizing, you talked about that, taking responsibility. You can change your circumstances, but you got to take responsibility for them, right? Like, you got to say, I created this. This is what I've created, whether it's a weight issue, whether it's a health issue, whether it's a relationship issue, whether it's a financial issue, whether it's just an esteem issue, whatever it is you want to change in your life, you have the power to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You visualize the results that you want to see. You visualize the changes that you see happening.
And create the action steps that
And
you want,
don't
that
be
you have to
ashamed,
take.
because absolutely take action. And if you're in a place where it seems like you're stuck and there's no possible action to take, you just keep visualizing it and remain optimistic, and the universe will open up to you, and opportunities will emerge where you can take action and take that next step. Like, yeah, just don't be hopeless. Like, remain optimistic and positive, and just know that, yeah, you are an infinite being. You have infinite capacity to change, evolve,
Awesome.
grow.
So going a little further, I always talk about responsibility as being one of the major things. People consciously need to make that choice and make that decision that they want to make a change in their life. And if they want to, they can take responsibility and make a change. And I always tell people that goals are important. What do you think about goals, goal setting, especially at the end of the year? Christmas is here. We're coming up to the end of the year. People can be reflecting, I think, on their year. Do you think, having goals are important? Are goals a part of your life, Kevin?
Absolutely, yeah. I've been getting better at that, like setting objectives that I want to do, making lists of things that I want to do, that I need to get done to develop my business, to make more YouTube videos, make more content online, make my Facebook page with my services more available to people. Doing things like this where I'm collaborating with other people, this is super important. This is super amazing to be able to connect with people. So that's a goal of mine, is to connect with others. And yeah, making the steps to get there. It's very important to remain productive, to be productive, and to do things that are in your joy, to do things that you're good at, that you have like a natural talent for, to help people, to be of service. And yeah, I think anyone can live their dream if they do that. If they do things that they truly enjoy, that they have a talent for, and that also support and help other people. And that's a form of nourishment in and of itself, to do that.
Yeah, thinking about the goals, thinking about your purpose, thinking about giving back to help other people, that gives you energy.
It does. It's like food. It feels so satisfying, like to finish a consultation and I see like how it's helped somebody, and there's like hope in their face again. There's that sparkle in their eyes where they know what to do now. And yeah, it's really motivating. It's really exciting. It gets me excited to do that again. It's
So
like
you're rewarded. You get a reward from helping others. Life is really more about giving than it is about receiving, isn't it?
or just I've heard put this way, that when you have nothing, when you have absolutely nothing left, it's time to give. Instead of like, wow, I have nothing, I need something to support myself. It's like, no, you have nothing. It's time to give, to receive. It's time to initiate the giving, the receiving by giving. So I think the giving, it does in some ways trump the receiving, because you get nourished by giving.
So I always talk about, you know, different aspects of goal setting. I say you got to make goals for your personal self, for your health and your wellness, the way you're going to eat, the way you're going to exercise, the way you're going to think and speak about yourself. Goals for your relationship, your personal relationship, maybe your family, your kids, your siblings, your parents, your secondary relationships, your colleagues, the people you're going to work with, your clients, other people you're going to bump into on this planet. And you know, other people that maybe you won't bump into this planet, but how do you think and feel about them? Because what you're putting out is what's coming back to you, and the way that you think and feel about those other people on the planet are you know, have a big effect on what's coming back to you in your life. So goals about others, goals about your finances, goals about your career, goals about adventure, like places you want to go, things you want to do, things you want to accomplish, goals on how you want to give back to society, maybe thinking about creating a permaculture farm, or, you know, moving into a permacultural society where you're contributing to giving to the earth by doing something that's positive for the earth, rather than just taking and driving your automobile and putting out smog into the earth, and taking plastic items and buying bottled water and adding to your carbon footprint by creating more waste. Like, if that's your thought pattern versus I'm moving to a place where I'm going to be contributing to the benefit of everyone on the planet, and if everyone made a step in that direction, then, you know, we've been a sustainable planet, rather than eating meat that requires so much water and requires so much grain, that takes food and trees away from others that need to live on this planet. That's a non-sustainable thought versus a sustainable thought. This is all part of goal setting. This is about planning your life. This is about taking action with your future, and creating a life for yourself that's in alignment with the planet, and therefore creating a life that's putting out love, and as a result, bringing love back to you, and more joy and happiness coming back into your life because of that. I commend you on what you're doing. Can you talk to me about breath work and oxygenation and exercise and yoga? And
Oh man, where do I begin? Like, I love breath work. It's like my favorite thing to do ever because it has so many benefits on every level of your life. Like, most people go through their lives not breathing consciously. They're taking shallow breaths. They're not even thinking about the breath. But the breath is so forgiving, is this amazing force, this amazing thing. Because even if we're not consciously paying attention to it, it's still happening for us. It's still there in the background, on the back burner. We're still breathing, even if we're not breathing consciously. But if you breathe consciously, like, there's so many benefits. Like, on the physical, you're flooding your body with oxygen. You're increasing the circulation in all your capillaries. You're increasing your red blood cell count. And when your diaphragm is rising and falling, you are massaging all the lymph nodes in the gut area, because the majority of the lymph nodes are in the gut area. And a lot of Dr. Robert Morse followers, I love Dr. Morse, but he says that there's no pump of the lymphatic system. And I disagree with that. Just based on my own intuition, my experience, I've discovered that the diaphragm, the breath, is the pump of the lymphatic system. And that the lymphatic waste goes out through the bowels, through the massaging of the bowels, of the diaphragm, massaging those lymph nodes that are down there. And yeah, there's so many things. Like, when you're doing breath work, your perception gets clearer. Like after I do a set or two of Wim Hof breathing or a few minutes of holotropic breathing, I look around the room and my vision is sharper, everything's clearer, everything is more colorful, and my hearing gets deeper. It's like I can hear a wider range of things, and it balances your thoughts. The breath balances your thoughts. Like I was saying earlier, most people have like 1,000 different voices going on in their minds, and their subconscious is very separate from their conscious mind. When you're breathing deeply, it's almost like a shamanic journeying experience. That's literally what it is. And you're harmonizing the mind to one singular voice, and you're merging the subconscious with the conscious mind. And it reveals a lot of important information about yourself. And again, back to the emotional body, like when you're breathing, you're taking these solidified, like trapped hard emotions that have been there for a long time, and you're turning them into more like a nebulous, like liquid, gaseous phase, and you're making it so that they can be circulated and released from the body. And a lot of people who do holotropic breathing or Wim Hof breathing or different breathing techniques, they have profound emotional releases. Or they might even have like past life regressions. Or they might have some experience, like a DMT experience, where they have a lot of resolution in things that have happened in the past.
So that breathing is connected to the emotion, like emotionally actually you can lift emotions with your breath.
Yes. Absolutely.
And you can release emotion with your exhale. You can breathe it up into your life, and you can release it with the exhale.
Yeah.
So you can draw emotion up and draw energy up into your life that way.
Absolutely. It's also a great way to harness energy, to nourish yourself with oxygen, because oxygen it enhances every function of everything in the body. It enhances the function of all the organs. You can assimilate and absorb and digest better. You can eliminate better with having a lot of oxygen. All the different enzymatic pathways their function is enhanced in the presence of oxygen. Parasites thrive in a acidic, like carbon dioxide rich environment. They're like anaerobic, all these different pathogenic bacteria, yeast, fungus, mold, worms, like they thrive in an acidic environment. But when you're flooding your body with oxygen, you're alkalizing yourself, and you're making it a lot more difficult for these pathogenic parasitic organisms to take hold in your body. And if you do enough breath work, like you can even observe them coming out.
So yoga, exercise, a ritual for you? Like you're doing that, you're moving a lot?
Oh yeah, like every morning I do a lot of Qigong, I do yoga, I do at least 3 sets of Wim Hof breathing. Sometimes I'll do like 15, 20 minutes of holotropic breathing. I also do the Nadi Sadhana, the alternate nostril breathing. I do pranayama. I do the Poteko method. Yeah, I like all these different methods, all these different...
Yeah. Lots of things in the tool chest.
Exactly. And it's like one method of breathing has a totally different feel, a totally different result, a totally different effect than another kind. And it's all breath, but it's like this huge medicine cabinet full of all these different techniques, all these different methods of breathing that have all these different effects. So it's really cool.
And then movement too. You said yoga and you said Qigong. What about exercise? Do you do exercise too?
Yeah, like I'm just starting to get into calisthenics. And one of my favorite things to do is to just go sprint as fast as I can.
Sprinting, running, walking, movement. But movement creates electrical energy within the body.
It absolutely does if you move properly. Like most people have the idea that if you move, then you're burning calories, so you should have less energy than before you moved. But yeah, if you're doing these different things, if you're energetically in tune with your body, then you move to the right degree. You listen to your body. You listen to your body tell you when it's time to stop, when you've had enough movement. And it's actually a nourishing thing. You have more energy than before. And you have mental clarity. You feel your circulation is better than before. You're just more present. You notice more things. And yeah, it's like you're ready to do things. You're ready ready to be productive in your day versus, wow, I just ran a marathon. Now I need to replenish my glycogen stores, eat a bunch of carbs, and take a nap.
Get a certain amount of calories and protein requirements met. And yeah. So talk to me about fasting.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to say. There's so much. Like, wow, that's a loaded question.
It's important to fast.
It's incredibly important to fast. I would say fasting is the most detoxifying thing that you can do, hands down, for all the organs, for the blood, for the brain and the nerves, for the kidneys, for the bowels, for the liver, everything benefits from fasting. And I almost want to say that fasting is more important than the physical food nourishment.
Yeah.
And just with fasting, it just opens you up to receiving all these different pranic sources of nourishment even more. More
insight, information,
yeah,
divine intelligence, contact, self-awareness.
Mm-hmm. And I made a video about fasting properly. And in that video, I said how it's important to fast in nature and in silence, in solitude, because then you're really just making it a priority. You're really forcing yourself to be present with all your emotional and mental stuff and to come to terms with that. Because a lot of people nowadays, they're fasting and they're, again, only focusing on the physical. Like, yeah, I'm going to give my digestion a break, going to give my metabolism a break, going to take a break from food, it's going to be great, I'm going to detox. But you know, when you're fasting, you're in a more vulnerable state and the emotions come up more easily because of that. They're now available because they're suppressed with all the food. And yeah, we need to focus on the emotional and the mental healing as part of fasting instead of just the physical healing and regenerating component.
Amazing. So what do you recommend people do, starting up fasting, and maybe what should they strive to get to, or do you have any recommendations for that?
I've had a few clients interested in fasting, and I try to cater it to their lifestyle, to their individual needs. Like some people, they're not in a place where they can take 21 days off of work to do a longer fast. So I have them doing like fasting on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, just fast 48 hours or 64 hours, whatever, or do intermittent fasting every single day, do like 18, 20, 22 hours intermittent fasting. And I feel like those are all pretty easy to incorporate. Like this is available to everyone. Anyone can do that sort of a fasting regime. Yeah.
And it makes life simpler, not having to eat.
It does. It's an amazing vacation. It's like, wow. And a lot of people discover they have more energy. Like they're expecting to be bedridden, but actually it's like, whoa, like I'm free. Like all of a sudden they're free and they don't have to spend all this time in the kitchen preparing food. So it's like, wow, well, I'm going to go for a hike, or I'm going to play music. I'm going to like learn a language. I'm going to learn how to play an instrument, or I'm going to research this thing that I've been wondering about. I'm going to read this book. And it's just like so many possibilities emerge. And that, again, that's a way of being energetically nourished, by being creative. Like sometimes we stifle our creative energy with food, but fasting allows that to emerge.
Awesome. Love fasting. I'm 3 days into my 5-day fast right now. So great to have that input from you.
Awesome.
Grounding, sun gazing.
Oh man, it's also important. Yeah. I mean, that's a big reason why I'm here. I'm in Olone right now, this coastal town, because at Fruit Haven, it's really cloudy. It's like the beginning of the rainy season. But I came out here to be more in the sunshine, to do some sun gazing. And just the sunset here is magnificent. I can just stare into it for an hour.
Wow.
And yeah, sun gazing, or even just sun exposure. Like it's literally physically nourishing. It gives you vitamin D. It gives you like the ability to make more hormones in the body. And I feel like the sunlight and the oxygen and the water and the ocean, bodies of water, the earth, grounding. These are our external organs. Like they're not separable from our internal organs.
Wow.
Like the functioning of our body is so dependent on being exposed to nature, being exposed to the elements, the earth, the water, the air, the sunlight. It enhances everything. It changes your epigenetics when you ground and you sink your feet into these negative ions in the earth. I've had so many experiences where I'm grounding and like it enhances your digestion. It does a lot. Like, I'm sure it's unique to everybody, but I've experienced a lot of things like, wow, I would not have expected that to happen just from touching the bare earth. Like, a lot of really interesting things.
Awesome. Okay. So, I want to talk to you about some earth medicines, and I'm not sure where you sit on them, or if you're familiar with them or not. Have you heard about Shivambu?
Shivambu?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, this is something that I am hesitant to talk about on my YouTube channel, but let me tell you my Shivambu story.
I'm so glad that you're talking about it, because it's so hard to talk about. But we just brought it up that we have to have these conversations and get into these situations and these circumstances, because it's so judged, right?
It sure is.
It's so judged, and everyone just, rips you apart and judges you about it. So I know it's a hard conversation to have, but let's try and battle that out a little, tease that out a little bit.
Conversation.
Let's have that conversation, buddy.
Yeah, but no, I've been practicing Shivambu regularly ever since I started consuming raw living foods.
Nice. Me too.
Basically, when I started eating a lot of watermelons and I was drinking a lot of these tonics for a detox, like a bowel parasite detox, I was drinking a lot of liquids and eating a lot of juicy fruits, and I was peeing a lot.
Yeah.
And I was living in my apartment on my college campus where I had to go 3 flights of stairs. I had to go down 3 flights of stairs to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
I didn't want to keep doing that. I just wanted to relax and drink my tonics and eat my raw foods. I didn't want to have to go all the way downstairs to use the bathroom. So I started peeing in a jar. Okay. And I peed in the jar and I set it on my desk. And all of a sudden I was like, whoa, that actually seems appetizing. And I just heard this little voice in my head, go ahead, smell it. And I picked up the jar. I was like, it smells nice. It doesn't smell like that fishy, nasty ammonia smell that people usually think pee is supposed to smell like. And I was like, wow, this is actually really not, I want to drink it at this point. I'm like, I feel that.
So you intuitively came to Shivambu?
Yes, I intuitively arrived at that. I was about to drink it and I was like, I must be insane.
Wow.
So I Google searched people drinking pee.
Wow.
Discovered wow, people actually do this, and people have
cured my gosh,
all manner of disease by drinking their urine.
Yes.
And that's what I needed to know. And I was like,
yes. So amazing, brother. So amazing. Wow.
Amazing. I loved the flavor and just how gentle it was.
Oh my gosh, nourishing for the body. Now, one thing that I've just introduced just in the last, say, month, I've been really, and I don't know if you do this or not, so I'm sharing, is actually building a relationship with the Shivambu, is actually speaking to it as if you're asking for an answer, and it will provide you with that answer. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this or not.
Yeah, well, I haven't really discussed it, but I have had experiences like that where it does have a consciousness. It does have a presence, just like
as if it has a presence.
yeah, it intuitively drew me to like, I should be drinking, I should be consuming this. And I do, like, I'll program it with certain intentions or thoughts.
Right.
Because
putting an
where,
intention out there to the Shivambu and then ingesting it will actually go through you and provide you with that intention.
yes, it's like homeopathy, but next level.
Right. Because it goes through every single cell of your body and it knows exactly what you're thinking and what you're wanting. And if you speak your intention into it, it goes into you and actually provides it to you from within.
Yeah, it's literally so electrically, chronically infused with your body, with your cells, with everything that's going on in you. It's you. It's like this perfect tonic for you. It's infused with your perfect imprint. It's like a being. It's literally living water. It's living water.
Yes.
Yes. It has consciousness.
Awesome. I'm
Yeah.
so amazed. I'm so glad that you've also even stepped into that. One final medicine I wanted to bring up, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with it because you may not even have to. You're a young guy and you've been living such a clean life. You probably don't have to do it. But have you heard about turpentine?
Yes, and I have a video. One of the very first videos that I ever made on YouTube, I was explaining turpentine protocol. And I have done that. I did it very intensively for a period of a few weeks.
Yes.
I was doing it like 4 times a week.
I've just been doing it the last 6 or 8 weeks now. I've been doing that frequently and experimenting with different dosages and different usages. And so you found it was very positive for you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I noticed a
Absolutely.
lot of foreign objects, a lot of
removal.
a lot of old things coming out.
Yes.
And I did it recently as like a maintenance.
Yeah, just a smaller dose or less frequent or here and there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Do it as much or even at all anymore.
Unbelievable. Kevin, you know what? I'm just amazed. I've never spoken to you before. We met so, just fluidly on YouTube and
Yes.
And we're at different parts of the planet and we've arrived at all of the same things and you've brought some information to me about permaculture farms and I'm just going to be counting down the time until I can get away down there to do that. I hope that by next year I'll be in a position that I could actually leave for an extended period and come down and be at a permaculture farm or at your permaculture farm and spend some time with you and experiment and experience more along with you and talk and just have deep chats about all of it and what we could do maybe together collectively. And I hope we can do more and speak more again. Maybe we can do this some more and we can have some different conversations about different topics and we can collaborate and do it together. And I'm excited about this relationship we've just started today.
Yeah, me too. It's a huge honor. Like I've been following you on YouTube for a while and I'm just like, this guy is goals. Like I seriously look up to you and I've just been observing your transition like through fruitarianism and like into the unfooding, the immediate lifestyle. And I'm just like, wow, like this guy is legit. And I just love your energy. I love your vibes. And you put out such good content with all these different, just high vibe, really influential people that you talk to. And it's just such an honor to be on your channel and to have this opportunity to talk to you. And anytime at all, whenever you are ready to come down to Fruit Haven, like you bring your family, like you'll all be my personal guests. Like that would just be wonderful. And
so cool, man.
Like I was saying, it's really young in development. And like there's just so much potential there. There's so much there. There's so much that could happen there as far as fasting and retreats.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah. This is my vision. To be down there some portions of the year to be working on retreats, on healing retreats for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. This is it. This is the next step for me. this probably year is to finish off some things inside my business and some things online. And then that's the next part of my business, is to be stepping into the retreat and being away for a portion of the year where I'm inviting people down to actually get into live interaction with all of this and healing themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it's all about, is the
Awesome,
collective.
dude. Awesome, dude. So I can't wait to do more with you then.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to collaborating more.
Thanks, man. Awesome. Okay, bro. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, sounds good.